Connecting to streaming software. Welcome and good evening to Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms. This is Raph streaming to you live high above the keep in the hot air balloon. Tonight, Neindorf, back from vacation. Neindorf, how you doing?
Doing well. I'm, recharged and ready to keep moving forward.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. So we had an AMA today, and we'll go through some of those notes. We have some dev dive updates that we'd like to get to, the shutdown phasing maps, and then we'll probably slide into some of our degen plays, our not financial advice of what we're advising each other and what we're doing next. All right, can you take us away with the question of the day?
Sure. Yeah. So we were chatting a little bit on Discord here, and I think the question really is, with this phase shutdown that we're going to get to here, are you making any moves? We've been holding some LP in Serendale. Are you holding or are you selling? Where are you at?
Yeah, and shout out to Bob Nothing in our Discord chat who really kind of fired up the conversation with some insightful ideas there. So, for any of those of you who are new to our podcast, make sure you check out the Discord channel. We got a lot of really smart people, way smarter than at least me, over there hanging out. So, yeah, I think it's a great question, and I'm one of the ideas that was thrown out there today is, will Crystal go up in price? Because the only playable token for the foreseeable future is going to be Crystal. And I guess technically now, well, starting now, the only playable token is going to be Crystal. Jewel now it's not a playable token anymore. Well, I think you can summon still. And you can buy heroes, but pretty soon, once that shuts down, we'll go through that in the map. I mean, that's now no longer a playable token, so you only have Crystal right now, which is going to be used. And do we see some buy pressure on Crystal? It is limited in supply compared to Jewel, so I think it'll go up. With that said, I am still hooked as a degen to those Serendale Gardens for that unlock percentage, and so I'm going to hang out there as long as I can. I'm probably going to be taking all those garden rewards and moving them over right away, whether I'm transferring them into Crystal or into like the Jewel X Jewel Garden. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm still hanging out in the Serendale Gardens. How about you?
Yeah, so I was just gonna pull it up real quick. I think it's a good idea that we're all gonna have to migrate eventually, obviously, right? I think the timing is really what's at question here. Um, what I've noticed is the APRs in the gardens in Serendale have slowly started, adjusting. I feel like they're adjusting upwards a little bit as people leave and do go back to Crystal Vale with some of this money. Like the Jewel XYA one I'm looking at right now is at 277%. So
Wow.
that is
That was at like
crushing it right
250 last night, so
now.
wow,
Right.
it
So
really went up.
we got a little while yet. So I think I'm kind of with you here. I'm probably also going to hold on as long as possible. And I am also taking Garden Rewards and putting it into Jewel X Jewel in Crystal Vale just kind of as a savings account. I want to repay myself for some of the money I brought in for land
Hmm.
that we purchased. And I feel like that's a good long-term kind of like savings account in crypto, if you will, assuming you are bullish on the game, which of course we are.
Yes, yes, we are. All right, well, let's go into the dev dive section. What have you been working on in the lab?
Yeah, so it's been a little silly because of A, I was on vacation, but B, we kind of did just fix up some of that market data information, so that's kind of looking a little better. In the near future, we're going to have more on that page as well. One of the big things I'm looking for is people who are subscribers are going to be able to save off their favorites,
Love it.
so that you can kind of basically make that page a little more friendly for people who have, who visit it very frequently. And I know
Hmm.
there's a few of those people out there. Um,
Yeah, big thanks to Crypto Grady for shouting out the market data page every video.
oh, I know. See, he's one that he's going to love the favorites.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, for sure.
Um, and then on top of that, I'm trying to think. Then actually, I'll probably have to go back to the next top voted item on our Discord vote, which, if I pull that up really closely, it's probably back to some of the visuals here,
Mm.
whether it be tavern alert visuals or hero data visuals. So yeah, I think that's where we would head next, according to our votes.
All right, I like it. And one thing that I should probably touch on, dev dive for Fight Club. So we had a tournament when you were out on vacation, and it was absolutely incredible. So much fun, great turnout. Big thanks to Corey. Actually, I was chatting with him last night. Um, Caught some. He and Poring were playing some practice games and testing out some new strategies with a priest meta inside Fight
Oh,
Club, and so there's an ability called Life Tap that they've been trying to test out and use, and actually it was used extensively in the semifinals and finals of the game. So it feels like Priest meta is going to be alive and well. A Priest paired with a really tanky character, specifically a Dread Knight in the front, seems really, really strong. So,
wow,
and that Life
that's
Tap,
awesome.
yeah, the Life Tap ability again, if you don't remember off the top of your head, half of your damage dealt is returned to you in life. And so what you do is you drop the life tap, and then you use your fierce attack with your Dread Knight, and they start healing a whole bunch. Um, and so that's yeah, a really really neat combination, and I love that the game is starting to evolve like that. So congratulations to Corey. Actually, he and Poring were they faced off against each other in the finals. So glad to see that they put that aside and started doing some practicing together.
That's pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
Can't give away too many secrets, though.
Right, right. So go check out that channel. You'll find a link in the YouTube show notes. So yeah, really really excited about that and where that's going in the future. Anything else on Dev Dive that you want to talk about?
I don't think at the moment, actually. I think that pretty much covers it for now.
Okay, so I'm going to jump over to the announcements page here. So this is on Discord announcements, and this is the phased shutdown approach. And so this has been talked about in the AMAs, and it feels like it's a lot more digestible. We just had Stronghold on. Big shout out to him. He was listed on the games or in game, so go check out his material. But we talked a lot about how visuals can help tell such a story. And this starts to feel a lot more clear when you can see what the dates are and what parts of Serendale are shutting down. And I referred to this a little bit in the question of the day. So as you're seeing this, obviously today's the 15th. Yesterday was the September 14th. And so we had Profession Quest, Training Quest, Raffles, Wishing Well, and Meditation Circle Shutdown begins. And then Phase 3, Summoning, which is pretty much essentially, it's just like you have a crystal there, right? Then the Tavern shuts down, Item Trader, Stone Carver, Alchemist, Meditation Circle's totally down, and then Pet Hatching Shutdown begins. So, what does that mean? And I guess what I'll kind of end with the pet hatching. Do you think that means that they have to have pet hatching up and ready to go, or pet bridging?
So yeah, it's hard to tell. I'm so going back up to phase two real quick. It's clear to me that the goal here is to get the active activity, the bulk of the transactions moved across. So that seems like what phase two really is.
Mm-hmm.
Phase three. So now phase three here. We're talking about shutting down some of these more, I would say, items that earn quest rewards for the reward pool. I know they talked about moving half of the quest rewards over to Crystal Vale, so I could see some sort of tie there. I don't know if it necessarily means that hatching has to open right away. I could see it lagging slightly. Um, I don't know if, for example, would there be a new season for pets, right? Because they do have that concept where pets can hatch in a season. I think there's unique artwork or unique pets per season. I mean, it'd be really interesting if they did something like that too. I don't know how much effort they've placed into pets at this point. It's really hard to tell from the outside.
Yeah, it is. That's tricky. Going jumping for okay. I guess this is pretty straightforward. Anything else that you want to go over here? I mean, I guess it's nice to see that there's progress in place, and I guess the one thing maybe we'll get to it in the degen section to speculate on is if phase 5 is October 5th, when does phase 1 Serendale 2.0 start, I guess?
Agreed. And what I'm just noticing here is there's probably only going to be a one, maybe two windows for the
Mm-hmm.
stone carver between now and shutdown. Um, I would not bet if stones become somewhat rare in a month, if there's a month of downtime and the
Ooh.
prices kind of start to jump. So, not financial advice, but if you got some items and you want to craft some stones, that's funny thing is I bridge all my items across, so I can't even do that. So
Yeah, I
I'd have
did.
to buy them.
I did that too. Shoot, I wasn't thinking. All right. Well, the last time I checked, well, and it was a long time ago. Stones were pretty darn cheap. Because the price of gold was down so much. So, all right. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I think this is pretty straightforward. Let's go back to YouTube here. We have a few questions that I want to get to. Guy says, "Do you guys see yourself continuing to quest 2 to 3 years from now? Struggling to continue to quest 39 heroes every day takes so long." Um, well, we're both bot questers, so yeah, I threw in the towel honestly as soon as we had Thanos on. Now I have a little, I think a gripe to pick with Thanos here in a moment, and I say that jokingly, of course. So we'll get that in a moment, but yeah, I've been using Diffkey for a while now. I know you used it for a couple months, and now you've built your own bot as well. So I think it's, and actually, okay, so here's something else that I want to show you. Have you seen this picture on Twitter? Oh, you're not on Twitter. Never mind. So you haven't seen this picture yet, have you?
No. What?
Yeah. So this was dropped yesterday, and so it says multi-quest queue. Maximize all,
Oh,
delete all. So this might be the much needed quality of life improvements that people were looking for when it comes to setting up
interesting.
multiple heroes to quest. So I guess this is a little bit of the. It probably is going to get a lot more enjoyable when something like this drops. So yeah, Guy, the light is hopefully at the end of the tunnel for you. And this I found Stronghold retweeted it, and I think it was Beetle Dude dropped it in Discord. So I totally missed it in Discord. It wasn't in the announcement. So kudos to Stronghold for looking at that.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think in a sense, we've kind of speculated that there will be a lot of different things as a year or more goes by that questing will become less painful.
Hmm.
I think they will continue to provide more mechanisms so that you don't have to use applications or bots to quest. So I actually could potentially see myself doing more questing myself instead of a bot in the
Mm-hmm.
future.
Yeah, I could see that too.
Honestly,
Next question, Zelf asks, will you be changing the sub fee from Jewel to Crystal? And good news, Zelf, that is already online. And so in the account page, you can pay depending on which account or which network your MetaMask is attached to. So if you have a MetaMask Chrome extension like I do, you can toggle between your two networks, and you can pay in either Crystal or Jewel. We accept either one. All right. And some comments here. Bogside intern. We need to get ourselves an intern. Bogside, well done. I'm all about intern labor. That's excellent. And Bogside intern, I believe you're the guy who, well, or gal, I don't know. You're the person who created the Stone Carver, I believe. So the Stone Carver Twitter account. So well done, thank you. And Bogside intern says we need parity between Serendale and CB. I agree. Sergeant Filthy McNasty, APR is important in the LPs, but do you know about the pool allocations play into the rewards you get? Actually, you asked me a question just before we started, like, hey, do you understand how these pool allocations work? And I was like, no, I have no idea how these work. So I can't help you, Sergeant Filthy McNasty. I think we need to get someone else on here who knows those kinds of things better than I.
Yeah, I feel like some of the data is just not quite out yet. And I haven't run enough quests and looked at enough of the returns to see, just to make a trend and to kind of understand, is it similar? And plus, if I haven't bridged over my LP yet, I have very little LP in Crystal Vale. So I don't have the right tools to even, test this theory out personally.
Right. All right. So let's jump into our last section. And we got into it a little bit already, was just our next DGen plays, anything that you're looking for. I have a few things that I want to talk about that I FOMO'd into recently that I don't know how much I've shared with you. But yeah, I'll let you go first while I'm trying to queue up some miners to summon with here. Hopefully it's better than my really lousy first summon of the night.
Honestly, for me, I'm not as active right now in some of that. I'm trying to just accumulate that jewel. And, like I said, I'm trying to be pretty consistent in moving it into the Jewel X Jewel to keep it out of my wallet. And so I don't spend it on heroes or summoning.
Stop it.
Honestly, I'm just, I want to have that jewel available so that I can, figure out what my next play is. Until I really get that next play, I'm kind of just doing some little summons here and there that are just kind of fun. And, maybe you get something good, maybe not. You don't, no big deal.
Yeah.
So I'm actually kind of a boring case right now.
Got to protect you from yourself. I agree. I have a couple things going on right now. Gold is at a bit of a lull, but, I just I'm starting to believe a lot in heroes, having a high number of heroes, and in having gold makers too. So I recently have invested in 2 pairs of pure miners, so DR1 miners, a Warrior Knight grouping of miners, and another pair of Warrior Knight miners. And I'm as we speak right now, summoning them down, and I'd like to just end up with a lot of miners, like, I don't know, somewhere between 20 and 50. Haven't really ended or decided where I'm going to end with that. Probably closer to the 50 mark. And, I was realizing, as bullish as I am about the game, that, mining isn't going to go away. It's going to be here at least for a year once the Clayton network launches, and then presumably there's going to be another expansion after that, and it's going to be there for another year. So I think miners will also hold their value over time, so I could always switch them from gold mining to mining some other token. And I decided, Jewel is pretty low still right now, Crystal's pretty low right now, so why not? Ooh, hello there, friend.
Oh boy.
All right, a rare paladin, 5 out of 5, and he's a minor. How about that?
Wow. There's a
Ooh.
play right there.
Yeah, so yeah, as you can see, this plays a no-brainer. I'm just making money left and right.
So we're gonna call this financial advice now.
Yeah. I actually, on my first pair, I also got a 5 out of 5 Paladin Minor. It was not a rare; it was a common. So this is pretty cool. And I've been using a lot of those lesser might stones that I've been hanging on to. So
Oh, there
yeah,
you go.
yeah, really excited about this, and just starting to get gold coming streaming in. Hopefully, that allows me to more cost effectively use stamp bots to feed my other addiction that I'll go to. So I playing Fight Club over the last weekend. I have a bit of a quasi tank in my Dark Knight, but I don't have a great other tank, and so I've been doing a couple things. One, stand potting one of my warriors that I think could be a tank someday. And then I found a mythic paladin for 2,900 crystal. And I was
Oh, wow.
like, all right, I think I gotta grab him. So let me bring this character up. So now, yeah, I'm accumulating purples. It's just so much fun playing Fight Club here.
Yeah, and I guess I do have the slight ongoing degen. I continue to feed my Dread Knight about three stam pots a day. So I guess I am kind of continuing that. That way he's leveling up, about twice as fast as normal.
No,
Um,
nice.
he's his stats are pretty good. His hit points aren't great. He's definitely not a whoring Dread Knight yet.
Not yet. All right, so I picked up Braid, some Vanderu, um, who I really like his health total, 641 for level 9. I feel like that's pretty strong with 28
That's a
vitality.
lot of help.
Pretty happy with that. And oh, my beef to pick with Thanos. I started bridging my items with Diffkey, and I didn't turn off my atonement crystals, and my atonement crystals have been nom nommed. So they've been eaten. They're gone. I blame Thanos.
Ooh.
He executed Order 66. The
Yeah.
the clone troopers have turned against me and my Jedi brethren, and they started with the atonement crystals. So, yeah, all joking aside, probably my fault. I should have turned them all off. I turned one of them off, and I didn't turn atonement crystals off, which I should have done. So, oops. I hopefully I'll get them back. I'm not that worried about it, or maybe they'll just pop back up in Serendale. Who knows? So I've been trying to stamp out this guy a little bit. Haven't done it a lot, and also my monk as well. I'd like to get him in the game. Bought him at a pretty young level. I bought a mythic pirate, which was pretty cheap. It was, and I sold a mythic pirate not that long ago, which was the remnants of Walton's heroes that he gave to us.
Oh yeah.
um, and so I sold the mythic pirate minor, and then I went and bought one about like for selling it for about 1,100 or 1,000 jewel, and then buying it for about I think it was like 800 crystal. So
Oh,
I feel like I
nice.
was on the winning end of that at least. So we'll see where things go. All right, so that's my kind of weird, all over the place degen
No, that's
advice
good.
of what I'm working on. I really want to get into some Fight Club games with you. I think you're going to really enjoy that a lot.
So, quick question on your stand potting. Do you have a target level you're trying to reach? Or are you just trying to go as fast as you can? Or what do you have like what's your guideline that you're kind of
Yeah.
chasing?
Well,
Because like I said, I'm doing 2x
it's kind
speed
of
basically.
neat. We did not have any level, maybe one level 13 hero in the Fight Club tournament. And I think we're going to
Wow.
put a soft cap on some of the heroes in the future. I think we had a couple level 12s and a lot of level 11s. And so I thought I was going to roll in with my level 11s, and I was actually a little this is how silly I was and how naive I was. I was worried that I was going to start stomping on people for being level 11. Um, and that was not the case. There was a lot of other level 11. So this kind of made me feel like, oh, I need to get my guys up. So I feel like if you are not at level 10 right now with the Fight Club tournaments, that you're not going to be. What we'll probably do is say like 10 to 14. I don't think you're going to be competitive if you're level 9 or under. So my goal right now, I will throw a Stampot or two towards my Mythic Gen Zero every time I see him hanging out there, just because I like to do that. And then I will target just one other hero that I'm like, okay, I need to focus on this hero right now. So my Mythic Monk, I brought him up from 7 to wherever he's at now. And now the Paladin is probably who I'm working on next.
Very nice. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be really cool to do a level ones only tournament. That way it's like skill, honestly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, it would kind of magnify some of this.
Yeah, that's sorry for interrupting. And I love that idea. Like, we actually came up with this idea for DFK Arena back when that was the only game in town, and we never ended up doing it. But it reminds me of, I think in Mario Kart they call it like the baby cup.
Yeah,
and so you could
like
like
the
play
50
like
cc.
the 50 cc matches exactly, and you do the baby cup. And so I think it'd be really neat if you gave everyone like the criteria. So we gotta resume this. We'll do screw those guys at Bogside Chats. They can't be the only ones making tournaments. I'm just kidding. I love those guys. But maybe we'll host the Baby Cup tournament. And so here's our idea that we had. It was everyone has to go out and you get like X jewel to spend, and you have to get a level 1 hero. And whatever you can find for X jewel, like, go for it. If you find a guy that's boosted with a crystal or a stone, excuse me, like, more power to you. And so when you go get that hero, and then you decide, and so like, I guess for Arena it was going to be 1v1, but I think this one we probably set the X jewel to, or the jewel price to, you get 150 jewel or 200 jewel, and you have to go get 3 heroes. They all have to be level 1, and then you play the tournament. And the idea with the tournament was at the end, you actually, like, everyone donated their heroes for like a massive giveaway or something like that.
Yeah, that would be
Which would
really
be
cool.
something pretty
Or
cool.
maybe you pick at least one of your 3 to give away. We could do anything like that. That would be
Yeah.
really cool.
All right. That's what we'll have to do. So maybe we can. The Bogside Chats intern is pretty nervous that I'm throwing some shade at those guys right now. So actually, how about this? We have paid internships over at Adventures in DeFi Kingdom. So just kidding. But yeah, like, I think this is a good idea. We probably should get Franz and Guy Kid involved in this, and whoever else wants to be a part of this. And so look out for that soon. Again, we're actually, all joking aside, we do really want to make the monthly Bogside Chat hosted Fight Club tournaments a really big thing. And so we won't be taking away from that, and I'll need to coordinate with those guys to make sure we're picking a good weekend. I think this game has so much potential. Actually, I was messaging Tyler Durden or Brad Pitt or Joseph or Connix or whichever one of the 8 names he goes by today. And I was like, I think you got a great game. And I think there's a chance that, why not hedge the bets and, keep developing this game. I think there's a chance that, PvP rolls out slow, and there always could be a niche for a game that's like this and not located on the blockchain.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it just has that. It's got that, for being a relatively new product, it has a fairly good balance already. Like, I feel like you can, I don't know. I'm just trying to explain as I think about it. Like, it doesn't take too long. Like, it doesn't take 100 turns, and it doesn't take 4 turns. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's a well-timed game. You're not a lot of these matches seem to come down to the wire, which is so I don't know, whatever the winning formula he's come up with, I think he's doing very well.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so jumping over onto YouTube, looking at some questions. Major, any thoughts on how you think dark summoning will work? Do you want to go first?
Sure, yeah. So I think I don't know how much of this I know versus how much I'm guessing. So I'm just gonna say what I think is gonna
Reckless
happen.
speculation. That's what we do every day.
Exactly. So my suspicion is that a you're gonna pick two heroes and they're gonna summon a new hero at the cost of sacrificing the two that you choose. And so the thought would be, in my opinion, is you're going to get boosts from how many summons each of those two heroes have left, as well as, I hope, what level the two heroes are at. So imagine if you had a level 10 Gen 1, 10 out of 10, two of those that you did a dark summon with. So basically, you got 20 levels and 20 summons that you're rolling all into one brand new hero. Um, I think that that's going to give you a hell of a boost. Now, here's my reckless speculation. I think that any hero who's a dark summon hero will always have no summons left. And I say that
Ooh,
because then you could give them some pretty amazing boosts and not have to worry about offspring and how
right.
that carries forward.
Smart.
The
I
other thing I could see it
I would
doing is
also
like,
expect them to actually like put some lore around it. Like,
yes, I hope so.
yeah, like you can't do certain quests, or you can do certain quests. Um,
That
I
would be
I
cool.
could see that for sure.
Like they're marked as like they have some sort of mark on the card that's like, oh, this is a dark hero.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty cool.
I think that'll happen for sure. I love the idea about the levels rolling into it as well. I didn't think through that.
I mean, and it
Yeah,
kind of already does, right? Because you get to do extra tier boosts for levels.
sure.
So it makes some sense to me that they'll figure it in. I just hope it plays a more prominent role because these heroes are dying. The heroes that you use are going to burn.
Yeah, yeah. They well, yes, literally. Yeah, I think I guess I don't have a lot to add beyond. I think it's interesting that the devs really wanted to put this in place. They really care about the price of heroes. Wow, I'm getting man.
Here's another.
Where was I last night? I have a rare mining warrior that I just summoned with my other guys. So
Dang.
coming.
Here's my next reckless speculation
Yeah, go
about
for it.
dark summoning. Imagine if like tier boost right now you get extra stats. What if for like every 10 levels or something that a hero you're using in this dark summon opens up another stone slot? And so
Mm.
you could potentially use 3 stones on a hero summon.
Oh, that'd
Just
be that'd be too busted, wouldn't it?
I don't know. But what they could do though is they could have it could have a negative impact on the growth rates, and you could have a higher impact on stats or something. So that basically you start higher and then you progress a little bit more slowly. There's a lot of things they could do to balance it. I'm just like I said, wild speculation.
I love it. I mean, yeah, that's what we got to do is wild speculation. Hmm. Yeah, that's really interesting. Okay. All right. Um, I mean, my I mean, stones like that adds up in a hurry. Like a greater stone is bringing you what +6, right? And that's halfway to the PJ. So yeah, maybe one or two. I
I'm thinking, and what if I mean, they could do a system where maybe you don't get the stat boosts, but you get the
percentage
percentages on the rates,
percentage
and so
boost.
you
Yeah,
could get really high secondary roll chances, and so
mm,
you could get almost 2 or 3 on every level of a stat. So it
yeah,
wouldn't be fully broken, but it would be hell of a lot of power.
yeah. Yeah, that'd be good. All right. Well, that about closes it up for tonight. So let me go jump onto YouTube and see if there's any more questions here. Sergeant Filthy McNasty, looking for the alpha here. Have you guys given thoughts to about how you're building your guild? I don't know if we can tell him. Isn't he Guild Goose or Team Goose? So I don't know. I mean, we might be fraternizing with the enemy here. So I'm not sure we can divulge information. Truth be told, we haven't really taken it to the next level beyond speculation, and a few soft invites for some of the folks who have been around like every night when it comes to Discord and the summons night. So I guess, with that said, we have no idea what guilds are going to have in store. We got to land because we really believe in it. And if you're really interested, come be an active part of our guild, jump in Fight Club, hang out, let's do battles. I do have a feeling in the future there's going to be like some roster spots that are associated with, the number of guilds you can have. But yeah, let's get some folks in here. We're going to look forward to that. Man, I got another rare tonight.
Yeah.
Rare minor.
You're on fire.
This is wild. I got to keep going. So,
I think with guilds, we like you were saying, we just don't want to get into a situation where we overpromise, and we're stuck, trying to back ourselves out of a corner. And we, like you said, if guilds are 10 people, is it 100 people? I mean, we literally have no idea. So we're just trying to kind of, like you said, keep that kind of soft invite out to people who are helping out a lot and are just making this a fun community.
Yeah. Well, I guess to answer my question earlier, because I wasn't even keeping count, I have 38 miners right now. So,
wow.
well on my way to 50.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I actually, at this point, I need to start doing the math on how many miners can I have per account. Who's a smart YouTube listener right now who can tell me this? Is it 6 times 4?
I would say
it's 24.
If you get, I think you're going to get stuck at 18.
18. So I need to make another account and have Diffkey run on that account too, don't I?
I bet so, because you can really I feel like you can keep one crew, 3 crews, and since you can get 6 per crew of gold mining, I feel like 18 is kind of that magic number.
All right. Well, there you have it. That's my plan. All right. Well, let me check this or YouTube one last time, see if there's any more comments. Nothing else there. So, thank you all for joining us. A lot of fun tonight. Neindorf, welcome back. And I'll actually be jumping on Sergeant Filthy McNasty's podcast tomorrow night. So cool. Come check that out. Join us. Sir Worm adds in, unless you have crystal mining as well. And I do not. So
there you go.
Well, not a lot of it. Like I have like dust. I'm mining dust right now with this account. So, all right. That's it. Thank you very much for turning out. And actually, after party is over on Fight Club. So go ahead and jump on the general chat over there if you want to do a practice game. I got a few heroes under level 10 that I'm looking to pilot. So come see us over there. See you soon.